Hi, I'm Michael Tools. Welcome to drumpoundit.com, and today we're going to talk about the double stroke roll and how to get it nice and clean and be creative with it. First, let me just demonstrate a double stroke roll, starting with match grip here. Both hands doing the same thing. Then with traditional, so that's a double stroke roll. Now let's look at the mechanics involved to make that happen, just what physically has to happen to make that work. Okay, so let's start with the initial throw. With match grip, you're going to start grasping the stick with the thumb and the pointer finger. We'll start here to create a fulcrum, so you have that. The bottom three fingers come around to help support and manipulate the stick. The fulcrum may also change at times from being from right here to the middle finger or in between the two. That's what I like to call a dynamic fulcrum, because depending on what you're doing, the fulcrum may change to get the best feel and the best sound, to get the sound that you want. So the initial throw starts with a whipping action from the wrist. The wrist actually leads, as if you're a marionette with a string to your wrist that lifts it up. When it comes up, the hand whips, the wrist goes down, which brings the hand to whip. The stick comes back and the fingers give it a little whipping action there, which adds more energy to the stick. The fulcrum, just like in physics, is used to amplify the power. Since the stick's spinning, rotating forward, once it strikes the head, it releases energy in the form of sound and motion, and you need to allow both to happen. So once the stick starts to return, it can come all the way up to the top, and while it's returning, the bottom fingers can manipulate it again by getting in the way or just closing and making the stick return back to the head. Then as your hand returns back to reset for the next throw. And that closing not only gives you the second hit, but once it gets to the palm, it prevents you from getting more than the two hits that you want. You don't let it bounce. Once the palm's closed off, there's no actual buzz or third hit, because the palm's closing off and the hand's coming up to get the stick up off the head. Same thing on the left hand with traditional. To close that off, the ring finger comes up after the bounce and catches it here, prevents it from playing anymore as you're returning. The thing about traditional grip, what's cool about it with using doubles, when you start here with the web of the hand supporting the stick, the ring finger comes underneath to keep the bead end of the stick from falling. You need that there to help support the stick. So you have the web of the hand and the ring finger supporting the stick. The top two, the pointer and the middle finger, come across, and the thumb connects to the pointer finger. And now your motion is going to be a twisting motion, like you're turning a doorknob. Prior, with match grip, both hands are moving like you're knocking on a door. With traditional, it's like you're turning the doorknob with the left hand and you're still knocking with the right. So with this, when you throw, the cool thing about traditional, the left hand here, is that you have the connection between the thumb and the pointer finger, which creates this little circle which can be used to allow the stick to bounce, to ricochet between the head and the fingers here. And it could be the pointer finger on top. You can relax, have the thumb just on top, just the pointer finger, or the middle finger. While the ring finger is used to bring it back up when you're tired of bouncing and get it back up, the ring finger is used to support that. With the double stroke, you have the whipping action coming. There. Maintaining your stick height from doing your singles. Make sure your stick height stays the same when you switch to doubles. Not. But even. The end of the fulcrum that has the most mass has the most power. If you have more mass on one side than the other, then the stick's going to be louder. Like if my fulcrum comes up too high on the left side and my right side's too far back, it's going to create uneven rolls. But particularly with traditional grip, the left hand can have a tendency of not being in the same spot, having more stick on the front end or the back end than the other hand. So make sure your fulcrum's in the same place so you don't get this or this. Well, you want them to be roughly, well, in the same spot, the same amount of stick on the front end of the fulcrum on both sides, so you get a nice even roll. Only when I'm going that slow, that when I need the stick to return to a higher stick height, does the fulcrum change from the pointer finger to the middle finger. It's only then that the fulcrum's dynamic. When I get to higher speeds, also not only does this motion become more refined, a lot tighter, but I also get more arm motion involved, more forearms involved in the roll. There, my fulcrum changes from just being here and then the wrist to also being back here. And you have a whole fulcrum system working on here. And the arms really help to get the stick up off the head cleaner, get it up more accurately and cleaner with less buzzes or bounces that you don't want. It helps your accuracy there. Like I said, nothing's going to change with my wrist throw. With my wrist, nothing's changing at all. What's changing is the action underneath the stick with the fingers here. From singles to doubles. While my wrist is only doing one throw, my finger is actually pumping twice. It's really good to work on something that has no rebound or minimal rebound, like a pillow. And just one last thing I'd like to say about technique. There are lots of different ways or techniques to achieve whatever it is that you want to play. The one I've been using is what I find to be most effective for me in the majority of situations. I've been able to get the exact sound that I want and the results that I want from it in the majority of the situations that I'm in. So, but that being said, there's no one way or no only right way to do this. There's only two situations when there's a right way. The first is if you're playing with a group of other people, and you're in a situation like a marching band, a drum corps, or whatever high school band, and your percussion, you have a necessity to look and sound exactly the same, then whichever way your percussion instructor or your group has decided is the right way, that's the right way. And everything else is wrong. And the other situation where there's a right way it's the way that's getting you the sound, the results that you want. If you're getting the sound that you want, and everything feels so you want it to feel, then that for sure is the right way. But don't be afraid to figure out your own way to achieve, experiment. I'm showing you what works best for me, what I find to be the most efficient and effective way to get the results that I want. Thank you.